Tajahau.
Apa khabar?
It's a game everyone is talking about, a game that came out of nowhere, and a game that might be bagging all of the video game awards this year. I'm talking about visuals, gameplay, storyline, music, etc. And of course, we're talking about the potential game of the year of 2025.
Postal 2.
Yeah.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So, myself, Afiq, and Nick have actually played this game. How many hours are you in?
I think I've done maybe about 3-4 hours.
3-4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm at 20 hours.
I'm at 25 hours.
25 hours as well.
Yeah, sorry, it's
And-
difficult running a company. It's
Yeah,
just-
right?
Yeah.
And
I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I thought having twins would be more difficult, but
Yeah.
apparently you have more time than I do.
Yeah.
we should actually go into it. Like, how does he find time playing the game?
How
right?
did you manage to clock in 20 over hours
Yeah.
with freshly
Not-
born
no,
twins
not
in the
only
last 2
twins,
weeks?
not only
Because they
twins,
don't
but
do
with a
shit,
daughter
man.
as
How
well.
about the daughter as well?
And they don't do shit. The twins don't do anything, right? Once you give them milk, they just sleep.
Yeah.
And
I want to
then-
talk to your wife now. and just see.
So-
yeah, Afi hasn't done shit.
So on this episode itself, we will be breaking down the good, the bad, the ugly, if there's any, on Expedition 33. And as usual, we are your video game best friends. My name is Kelvin Tay.
I'm Afiq K.
I'm Nick Dorian. We'll talk about it after this.
I mean, my script is like, so without further ado, let's do the do. So, Clair Obscur, what is it about? We play as a ragtag. Okay, what do we use the word ragtag? We play as a squad of people.
Yeah, squad.
Of Lumiere. It's
Lumierans.
Kinda, yeah, it's
It's people from
Lumierans,
Lumiere.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic Paris, I would say.
Sort of
It's like a-
French city. I wouldn't say
Right,
Paris,
I mean, the
but
game-
somewhere in France.
Yeah.
There is an Eiffel Tower.
Yeah,
Oh,
somewhat of an
Yeah,
Eiffel
somewhat,
Tower,
it's a
right?
representation of an Eiffel Tower.
In the game itself, it's called the Fractured, right? The Fractured happen, and then every year, a godlike figure called the Paintress, she will wake up, mark a number on a huge monolith,
Yeah.
and whoever is past the number or at the number,
Age-wise, right? Like
age-wise,
whoever
right,
is
yeah,
older than the number.
will technically disappear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and this is called the gommage.
Yeah, the gommage. If you want to imagine the gommage, it's basically like a Thanos snap.
It's
Yeah,
a
pretty-
blip.
yeah,
it's
pretty
the
much,
Marvel
yeah.
blip.
Like when it happened,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's the MCU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But instead of like blipping into like black dust, you blip into like rose petals. I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Right?
Pretty, very French.
Yeah, and then very very French, right?
When you die, you will be roses.
And you play as an expeditioner. You go on an
Yeah.
expedition to kind of take down the Paintress.
Yeah.
Right? That's basically the plot.
That's the
summary.
premise, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the premise of this game. So when we talk about Clair Obscur, really, this game literally came out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
yeah.
Very similar to Schedule 1 to a certain extent,
Yeah.
where Noah was talking about one day, and then the other day you hear
Incomparable yet
I mean,
comparable.
yes.
yeah, it's comparable in
for
the
one
sense-
reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for one reason where
That it
it
came out of
literally
nowhere.
came
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Because for real, on YouTube, one day it was nothing, and then the next day you wake up, you open, and then the whole front page is just
Yeah.
Expedition 33.
Yeah.
And it got me curious of what this game is about, right? And then I was checking it out, people were giving like raving reviews, and the only thing that turned me off was the turn-based system of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I mean that's same for me because I don't know about Afiq, but I think Cal knows that I am not a massive fan of turn-based RPGs and stuff
Right.
like that.
And I'm not a massive fan of JRPGs whatsoever.
And I'm not a massive fan of turn-based games at all.
Oh, so we're all in the same
Yeah,
boat then,
like,
okay?
like,
because
like Baldur's Gate, like no, I couldn't.
Final Fantasy,
No,
never. I could never get
go-
into it.
The only turn-based I kind of grew up with was Pokemon.
Okay,
yeah.
I guess that'll be closest.
Yeah. So going back to the topic of how the three of us are not turn-based enjoyers.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I personally don't like any JRPG style games like Persona, for example, Final Fantasy, for example, even Yakuza Like a Dragon, all turn-based games.
Yeah.
Never a fan. Like the story, but I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
But I would say when it comes to Clair Obscur, right? But one of the biggest highlight of this quote-unquote turn-based game is how intense and engaging it is at the same time.
And fucking beautiful.
Yes.
And
Yes.
beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
It is,
And the
dude.
real-time mechanics. That's the
exactly
that's
Yes.
the that's the real
the QTEs
pull.
for it,
Yeah.
right? Now going into the main topic of it, right? Let's talk about the bread and butter of the game, right? Because Clair Obscur, we all did not expect to enjoy it, but we actually did.
Yes.
And this guy being a dad, having more hours
Yeah,
than
I know.
everyone combined.
I'll tell you why.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Please explain.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
It's because when
You see, the fact that you are stuttering, you are struggling to find an actual logical reason
no,
behind this.
this is logical. Listen. Hear me out. There's a confinement lady. And the confinement lady helps take care of the twins. And that's only until day 28. After day 28, right, I'm gone. I don't think I have time.
Right. Wait,
So,
Okay. It's on record now. In about 2-3 weeks' time, let's see again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll come
I'm
in.
at
You heard it
48
first?
hours.
I'm at 48 hours.
You heard it.
Is your confinement lady still there?
No.
Then you might be the problem.
Are your babies being fed? I think so.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I think I heard something
I mean,
last night.
they're not crying.
yeah, so
but
should be good.
going
But they
to
weren't
the
crying
game.
yesterday either.
Oops. But going to the game itself,
Yeah.
right? When we talk about Clair Obscur, you brought up the graphics and the visuals.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I want to say, dude, this is one of the
beautiful.
prettiest games.
Yeah,
ever.
man. From that opening cutscene, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sold already.
Yeah.
Like, seeing the trailer, you know, whenever you see gameplay trailers, you're kind of on the fence because
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
is it going to be this good as the
Yeah.
actual game? When I loaded it out, that first 5 minutes, I was really like, you know what?
Exactly it. Yeah.
Even if I'm not playing the game, I'm sold on just watching
Yep.
the
Yeah.
story because it's gorgeous.
It is.
And
It's
also
beautiful.
watching the birth child of Robert Pattinson and freaking
Yes.
Daniel Radcliffe. Like, I kept looking, going, it looks like Radcliffe. Then after a while, I'm like, looks like Pattinson.
Have you met Pierce Brosnan yet?
No, not yet. Okay,
Okay, all right.
I can't wait to be Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. What?
And also this character voiced by Charlie Cox, so there's Daredevil as well.
Exactly, right? I want to say I did not expect this game to have so, what's the word for it? Such detailed cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's cutscene heavy.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
sometimes
standard like turn-based
Yeah.
RPG, yeah.
And sometimes when you're just playing, you're like, oh, I can't wait to go into the action. But then you're just stuck in cutscenes after cutscenes
Yeah.
after cutscenes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hand holding and world building when it comes to Expedition
33.
33.
You know what got me about the cutscenes, right? Is it's I think it's apparent in a lot of turn-based RPGs, right? Is like once it goes into a cutscene, obviously the details, the graphics, it changes a bit because that's the cutscene
Yeah.
is designed to be a cutscene.
Yeah.
But if you change the clothes of the character, it also changes in that cutscene.
Yes, which I appreciate.
Right.
Because there's so many times you play a game and you change everything, like the hairstyle, the
Yeah.
facial. And then the cutscene, I'm like, wait, it's
Yeah,
I
why,
just changed
happened?
it. Yeah.
why do you look like a silly like the brush hair? I don't know what it's
Yeah,
called
yeah.
again.
The gestural.
Yeah, the
gestural
gesture. I was
hair.
like, oh no, this is so wrong in so many levels. But it's part of the cutscene as well.
The
Yeah.
only thing I was irritated about, well, not irritated, just nitpicking. Like sometimes when you go to a particular person, say you've got two characters and you're switching
Yeah.
between them,
Yeah.
and you go to a person to talk to them, it will automatically switch to the person that needs
Oh,
to
yeah,
talk
yeah,
to
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
like
yes.
if I play the guy, I can only talk to certain people. If I play
Yeah.
the girl, I'm also only being able to talk to certain people.
Yeah.
Because I'll run to a person, I'm like, wait, that wasn't who I was when I wanted to talk to them.
Yeah.
The mechanics of the game or the combat, which is the biggest sell and the biggest highlight for me, right? Because like we mentioned in the prologue of this episode, is that we don't like turn-based games.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that we've been repeating again. But when it comes to the combat, yes, it's turn-based. Yes, you get to choose which skills you want to use or
Yeah.
like which free aim who you want to shoot at, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to the skills, right? Sometimes even in a blink of an eye and you miss it and you miss that
That A.
perfect
Yeah.
Yeah.
that perfect QTE time
Yeah.
and you're like, oh shit, I messed up.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so rewarding, but it's also so punishing at the same time.
Like, I cannot be certain compared to other JRPGs, but this feels like you are, even though you are just pressing attack or whatnot, you're still part of the action
Yes.
somehow.
Yes.
It's almost like you are still playing the fight.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I appreciate. That's the one thing I don't like about JRPGs is that
Yeah.
I press a button.
And then you just see the animation, which
Yeah.
is the same
Yeah.
animation that you see in the past like 5 to 10 hours of the
Yes.
same gameplay as well,
Like
right?
like Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
First time is fun. Second time is okay. Third time is like, can we just skip this, man?
Yeah.
Right?
And also, sorry, coming
Some
back to the
people love
cutscenes
it,
as well, I appreciate that it's not that long.
Yes.
Now, what I say about that is like, I've played Yakuza because my best friend Aaron has constantly bugged me to play Yakuza, so I play Yakuza. And there are times that I'm sitting there for 10, 15 minutes watching this fucking cutscene. I'm like, bro, I need to go to the toilet. Can this end yet?
When you talk about cutscene, right, the worst one I've seen is, I mean, it's not the worst, like, it's rewarding, but at the same time annoying, borderline annoying, is Metal Gear Solid, bro. You are playing a movie. You are playing a movie that just so happens to be interactive.
Yes.
But isn't that also Final Fantasy?
Yes.
That's true too, right?
Yeah.
It's just JRPG
Yeah.
in a basket.
Also, you can pause the cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, unfortunately, Expedition 33. I don't know, for PC, I couldn't pause the cut screens. Can you?
You can.
Yeah.
Wait, are you playing on controller or
On controller.
Yeah,
Just press A.
A!
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing pressing A for pause?
Press
Wait,
A and
sorry,
it pauses the cutscene.
wait. Every other game, I either
start or
press
select.
It's start or select, or on my Xbox controller the three
Yeah,
lines or the two
yeah.
windows or whatnot.
Yeah.
Who the fuck presses A
I mean, there's
to pause the cutscene?
some of the cons I have. Some of the cons I have. It's basically
French.
the key, the
A.
controller layout of it. I want to talk about it later.
Okay.
But going back to the mechanics of the game,
we'll talk
right?
about this later.
Okay, we talked about the QTEs for the attacks and the skills, right?
Yeah.
But the one that truly shines for me
Yeah.
is the parry,
Yes.
the
yes,
jump,
yes,
the dodge,
yes.
and then also the gradient block.
The gradient counters.
Yeah, the gradient counters. Because
Have you gotten gradient attacks?
yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes,
I
have.
haven't gotten
it's
either gradient defense
like
or gradient
it.
attacks. I haven't gotten it yet.
this
so
is the
good.
part where I like it's when they allow you time to slowly get used to the mechanics, then they'll introduce a brand new layer to it.
Yeah,
Which is super fun.
I also appreciate that it literally is alright. We're not holding your hand, but we're also making sure that you have an enjoyable time while playing this. Like it's not suddenly you need to learn all this.
Yeah.
It's gradual over time.
Which brings me to the problem of later on mid-game onwards. Oh
What's the
my
problem?
god.
Or you
Because
mean
they already introduced
difficult-
so
yeah.
much, right? The difficulty comes.
they raise the bar, bro.
They
okay.
raise the
Because
bar.
they're like, okay, so you know, I've taught you everything now.
Yeah.
Now let me throw you to the real fight.
Yeah.
Also, it's like overcoat, lah.
Yeah.
More or less like Overcooked, right? Where
They raise the bar, man. And you don't even realize it until you're midway through the fight.
yeah,
Oh, shit.
not only the monsters slash bosses will like sucker punch you or like scare you,
Uh-huh.
right? They would do multiple combo, what the game calls a reckless combo. And when the reckless combo come, right?
Yeah.
You either dodge it like a pro or get slapped like a bitch,
Yeah.
man. Because they
You
will
just
go
die.
1,
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
and then
And then in that pause, right, you've already tried to dodge 3 times.
and then
I'm coming.
they're gonna
I'm not telling
do
when.
and then they're gonna do a low sweep, which you have to jump.
Yeah.
But you're already so tense.
Yeah.
You are locked onto the parry.
Yeah.
And then when you parry, you get hit, and then you're like, oh man, I'm so stupid. And then after the sweep, they do the same fucking thing again. They smack you again. Right?
So the game, I said this on Discord once. The game is, you know how Elden Ring is kanchong all the way?
Yeah.
This is the perfect amount of kanchong.
Yeah.
It's like it allows you downtime when you're picking your skills
Yeah.
to sort of like manage your expectations of the fight. But at the same time, when it's not your turn to attack, it's so kanchong.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the pair, and then what happens to me, right, is I think once you get the grenade counters, you kind of understand what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But it's R1 to parry,
Yeah.
right?
Gradient is R2.
Gradient is R2. And then the signal for a gradient counter comes in so late, and then it's not even, it doesn't even activate the moment the color changes.
Yeah.
It activates when the hit attacks.
Yeah.
When the attack hits.
Okay.
Right? So my fingers on R1, I see the color change. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know in my mind R2. My finger does not move.
Same goes for me. Because in that perfect time of kanchongness, right, or nervousness, right, I would parry, okay, nice, tung,
Yeah.
parry 2, tung, and then I see then I see the jump icon, which is the yellow color one.
Parry also.
Then I was like, shit, I dodged. I dodged. I was like, oh my god, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, the moment you press it, right, you know you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that moment, you've already reacted. Every time you go like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. And
It's a real test of focus.
yeah, it really is a real test of focus, and they will shame you sometimes for missing your parries, man. You will feel so
Yeah.
stupid, right? But going through the entire thing, right? Let's talk about the perks and the
Pros?
perks. Sorry,
The Pictos.
Pictos. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pictos.
The Pictos of
The
the
perks
game.
are, yeah,
basically,
yeah.
the perks are. I love that they are very loosey goosey with the leveling system because it feels like
do you
it's
mean?
it's easy to level up. You
Right.
just got to fight
Yeah.
a couple of monsters and then you just level up one time.
Yeah. I
You
was
get-
surprised actually by that. Because
Yeah.
I thought, I have to be at least like 2 hours into the game before
Yeah,
I can
no.
even think about leveling
Yeah.
up some sort.
XP is actually pretty easy to get.
Yeah.
They are very generous with the XP, and also which brings me to the attribute points of it, right? Because the attribute points then brings you into like a whole system of like, do you want to put it into your vitality, which is your health, your defense, your
Yeah.
damage, your luck, and things like that. Then you got to start to be like, okay, how do I want to build this character?
Yeah.
Right? And then on the other face of the coin is that the skills that you're able to unlock.
Yeah.
Now that brings into a whole new different mechanics because
Yeah, a whole different tree.
yeah, right. Because the combat not only is like, just attack, dodge, parry, you also have to understand the elements of attack.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you resource management, your APs.
Your
Yes.
attack points, I would
yeah.
say.
Yeah, your attack points. So you need to understand resource management. You need to understand you need to think 5 steps ahead, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're on your first character and the next 2 turns are still you,
Yeah.
how do you set it up for the last one?
Yeah. How do you
Right?
maintain yourself
Yeah.
to get to the last one?
Yeah. And it's a lot of building. And it took me about like 10 hours to understand for you to actually get more AP, you are encouraged to parry more.
Yeah.
So every time you parry, you get 1 AP.
Okay.
And then there are some perks where it's like if you parry or if you have like a perfect dodge, for example, you gain 1 AP as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
So the way that they've thought about like different play styles, I think is really good. So the Pictos is I feel like a big part of your character building. Because everybody else has the same thing: vitality, might, luck, speed, defense, and I don't know what the last one was. Agility.
agility, yeah.
But the Pictos really differentiates one character from the other.
Yeah.
Because there are different perks and different stat boosts that you get from equipping different Pictos, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I found this Pictos and I'm using it right now. It's called Energizing Pain.
Okay.
So you no longer gain AP on parry.
Okay.
You gain AP on getting hit.
Right, okay.
So this is for players who have a really hard time parrying.
Yeah.
And they're always getting hit. This is one way to like counter that because if parrying is rewarding,
Yeah.
but if some people are just not designed for that level of speed,
Stupid lah.
I didn't. You said it.
I love how PC.
Some
they're
people-
not capable.
Wait till you get into the later games.
Some
then
people
you
are
will
not
feel exactly what you
designed for that
mentioned.
speed, right? So it is also rewarding to get hit.
Mm.
So
I think,
that's
okay,
how they
to be
thought
fair,
about it.
I think I am also in that camp. Because right now, I'm still trying to figure out how to dodge properly.
Yeah.
Because right now, I'm always just a millisecond behind.
Yeah.
There's been so many times I've died, and I know I've only played 2-3 hours, but I've died so many times
Yeah.
now. Because they were about to attack,
Yeah.
and then I'm pressing dodge,
Yeah.
thinking that they're going to attack.
Yeah.
And the moment I've dodged and I'm about to come back, that's when the sword comes out. So I'm essentially going straight into the sword. And I'm like,
So there's an advanced tip for combat in Expedition 33.
okay,
There are 2 cues that you look out for.
okay,
The visual
Visual?
cue is less accurate.
okay.
What you need to look out for are the sound cues. The sound cues only come on when the attack is about to hit you.
Yeah.
So that's when because sometimes the animation, right, they'll lift the sword and then it stays there for like half a second.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you thought it was coming down, but
Yes.
it's not. But you have to listen to the sound cues.
Yeah, the
Ah,
sound cue
okay.
is very important, and I appreciate that mainly because every monster have their own sound cues.
Okay.
Like there's,
But it's always the same type of sound cue. So
Yes.
if like magic attacks is always some sort of chime.
Yeah.
And then for like blade attacks is
like a
some
swoosh,
sort of
like a swoosh
swoosh.
and slash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've been following the visual cues
yeah,
rather
yeah,
than the
yeah.
audio cues.
How I would put it is the visual cue
Yeah.
is the prompter.
Yeah.
The audio cue is when you have to press it.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
faham.
But then it's not 100% because I'm at a stage where I am questioning my sanity. Am I the problem? Or is my controller the problem?
Is my brain just making up the sound cues right now? Am I not actually not hearing
It's
it?
always the controller's
Because
fault.
there's
Yeah,
so many
fucking
times.
lag, input lag.
Right. Because there's
I
so
think
many
because
times.
Bluetooth lah,
Yeah,
Bluetooth
that's
like
Maybe lah.
I use
maybe lah.
cable.
No, your cable you need to change the
That's
wire.
why.
The
It's
wire
5
not
years
is-
old already, the cable.
That's why lah, it's the cable.
There's
not
so many
me.
times where I dodge and it just doesn't register, and I
Yeah.
just look at myself in the reflection of my screen, and it's just like, are you stupid?
Yeah.
Are you stupid, Kel? Yeah, are you stupid, Kel? Right?
Shit, that reminds me of segue. But what you just said reminded me of, like when you're watching like porn, right?
Okay, wait, I want to hear the rest of this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And
When you're watching porn, right? And then you're trying to find the right video, right? And you
Okay.
click on the video already. Like everything's out, right? You're ready. And then while it's loading, it's black screen on your phone, right? You see a reflection of yourself just waiting for the video to come on. That's the same feeling,
Yeah, more or less.
No,
But
I think I've realized something now.
what?
The reason why he's been able to play 20 hours or whatnot is because every time he sees the black screen, he only sees himself.
Right.
If he sees the black screen and sees his two twins behind him in like a cot or something, he'll be
you're
like, yeah.
You're like that. I forgot.
Exactly, that's why.
I want to bring the conversation into the characters itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I feel that the characters are, I wouldn't say some of the best written one, but
Yeah.
they are very, very engaging.
Yes.
From their backstory to how they bring themselves to the voice acting itself.
Yeah.
They are so fantastic.
Yeah.
Starting
'cause
with-
the
First of all, the
script-
whole
the
thing is
s-
depressing. That's
Yeah,
why.
let's
yeah.
just face that.
Yeah.
The whole thing is
Okay,
depressing.
let's be fair. The first, like maybe 15, 20 minutes or whatnot,
Yeah.
still seems
When
positive.
they were still on Lumiere.
Then once the patrons did the thing, then
Yeah.
it just went, oh, we're the shit now.
Yeah. The moment Sophie blipped,
Yeah.
Sophie Gamage,
Yeah.
everything was just depressing from that point
Yeah.
on.
But I feel like this is such great script writing. Like this is a movie. This is
Yeah.
like Hollywood standard script writing.
Yes. Yep.
It is wonderfully layered. There are so many amounts of depth to the characters and whatnot that you are engaged with them as well. And even the dialogue. The dialogue is very sharp, very tight.
Yep.
That I'm listening to every word. Like
Yes.
I'm encouraged to listen to everything because they have structured it so well.
Yep.
Yep.
And I would also like to add that the voice acting for this game is so well done because like we edit
Yeah.
most of the time,
Yeah.
right? And when you hear the audio and audio cues for it, I was like, wow, this is so bloody polished.
Yes.
Right? For a quote unquote indie developer.
Yeah.
Right?
With Ubisoft experience.
With Ubisoft experience,
Yes.
right? Ubisoft Illuminize.
yeah.
Yes.
Starting with Gustav, right?
Yeah.
Played
I love
by
Gustav.
Charlie Cox.
Voiced
Robert Pattinson.
Voiced by
Voiced
With Robert
by
Pattinson
Charlie
with Robert
Cox.
Pattinson and Daniel Radcliffe.
But
They both came in
somehow-
for motion capture.
Yeah. But somehow looks like Daniel Radcliffe and also
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson, right? I would like. I just want to add. I just want to add in, right? I feel that most of the male characters looks like the same character.
Yeah.
They
Just
obviously
different
put more
age.
focus on the female characters.
Yeah, just
We are
Different
friends. We don't give a shit about
Oh,
men.
we don't give a shit about men.
We
yeah.
want to see the boobies.
We have.
That's why we put
Gustav.
the swimming suit
Yes.
in hard to reach places. You must climb. Prove your worth.
You know, I only want Afiq to do his French accent from now on.
Right.
That's how it is.
You should actually be a voice actor for this game.
Yeah, I would love to say.
Right? You would actually be a voice actor for
Maybe
this.
Expedition 34 or something.
Yeah.
There's this weird troll with a weird French accent.
Under the bridge.
Under the bridge.
Carrying twins.
Yeah. Would you like the babies?
Yeah, but I'm just gonna touch on some of the characters before the mid games.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Gustav,
Yeah, I got something I want to bring up about characters though. But
Mael, Verso, Lune, and Seal. Ciel.
Ciel.
Yeah.
Ciel.
Ciel.
Right.
Ciel.
These 5 characters here, because if we go any deeper, then it's gonna be like
Spoiler!
super
Spoilers.
deep spoilers, right? I love the character design. I love how they interact with one another. I love how they are supportive because I would say this is a slight spoiler. So just take it with a grain of salt. After
Close your ears.
after you leave for the island and you arrive at the island and the cutscene,
Which island? You mean
The
after they
first-
leave Lumia?
the first time
They embark on the
reach-
expedition.
right? That cutscene.
Oh my god,
specifically,
that cutscene was the
That-
shit.
it
That
was
was
dope.
amazing.
because everyone was like, I've been training for so long. We're
Yeah.
gonna go kick the ass of the painters, and then they land, and then they see the old
Yeah.
guy,
Yeah.
and then
They realize.
one
fucked.
thing leads to another,
Yeah.
and for me personally, my jaw was just on the floor. It's like, is this really how we're gonna start the game?
Yeah.
Is this really
Yeah.
how the fuck we're gonna start
Yeah.
the game?
No,
like
but
I
even
said,
then,
man, depressing, bro.
Yeah,
even then from an editor's perspective, that's why I say it feels like a Hollywood film, because
Yeah.
that editing, the cuts alone, like every time you hear the hit of the cane,
yeah.
it goes dung
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
black and then dung and black.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
like,
beautiful.
damn, this is well shot, even though it's a video game.
Yeah.
And then once the scene where the commander's head just rolls.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and from there on, seriously, I was like, wow,
Yeah, at that point you realize, okay,
what
I don't. None of us knew what we were up against.
Yeah, I think that was the
that's
point that we're like,
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
now we know what this is.
from there you feel the weight of the story.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is what we're going into. Let's see how this plays out.
And up until that point where the hit rolls out, there was no actual violence.
There was
No, it was
fight,
just
but-
like
yeah.
trading battles.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
peak of like what's about to come next.
Yes.
Yep.
I was like, damn.
And the layers upon layers upon layers of that story building was just wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we are in this new island.
Yeah.
All my comrades have black.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'm meeting new monsters. I'm meeting all this. What is Noko's race called again? Gestrels, right? I'm meeting Gestrels and
Love them.
and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Okay, this world is very very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far up to here, I mean, I don't want to go any deeper.
Yeah.
into
Otherwise, spoilers lah.
territories, right? But up till that point, I'm like, okay, I understand the hype for this game. I understand why people enjoy it. From the combat
Same.
story, the heaviness of it, right? The anxiety, the uneasiness you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the exploration, just to add
So
one more
rewarding.
point,
Yeah.
the exploration of it is just wow.
Yeah.
Every nook and cranny, nook
And cranny.
cranny.
Crony different.
Yeah, right.
Cronies
You-
was in our
Crony in the
government.
government.
you look up the sky, you look into the distance, you look on the floor, you look to your left, you look to the right. Everywhere is so well polished,
Yes.
right? And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, okay, this is a very magical place.
Dude, the fact that it looks so beautiful on my screen and it's able to run on my rig,
Mhm.
which is a shitty rig,
Yeah.
it's a win, man.
Right. The next point I definitely want to bring up is the music for it. The music score.
Wait. On the characters,
Oh,
the
yeah, you
the,
were talking
the,
at
character,
something
the
to it,
character
right?
points, right? Do you know there are romance options?
What?
What?
Do you know? You do know?
What do you mean romance options? What do you
Romance
mean?
options, bro.
What is romance options?
I mean, okay, so in RPG, there's always like a romance,
Yeah.
romance
Yeah.
option, right?
Yeah.
It's exactly what you think it is. If at camp,
You can talk to them.
You can talk
and
to
then,
them.
And then your friendship will increase.
correct.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes, once the friendship level goes up high enough, it takes on a different direction.
Oh.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna continue playing this game.
I mean, because it's French and it's artful, and
Oh,
it's
yes.
artsy, right? So you don't really see, it's not cyberpunk.
You can fuck a baguette.
Yeah, because it's all dark and black, right?
Yeah.
You thought you were talking to Sahel or Lune, you were actually talking to a baguette.
Baguette.
Oh, come here, you crusty goodness.
And that's how that is the main way of unlocking more gradient attacks.
Oh.
Because you only have one. Have one
Yeah,
unlocked,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's two.
So if I sleep with this baguette, I will get stronger.
A bit of side note, like the head cannon I had after that scene where all your expeditional, black, and then he's just Gustav is just defeated, and then he's like, oh, all of my friends, black,
Yeah. All my friends are dead.
and then and then Lune came into frame.
yeah.
My head cannon was I thought she was just a fragment of his imagination.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because
No,
he
actually
because he
same, yeah.
appeared right next to him, like as if she wasn't there.
Just when
It was like a Johnny Silverhand V moment in
exactly,
Cyberpunk.
exactly.
'Cause I was
Just
like-
when he wanted to end his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even that, I was like, wow, this early on in the game, you're thinking about killing yourself already.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, damn,
Dude, that scene was hard.
that was dark.
That was
Because at
because
first,
it was so the tension
Yeah.
was so well designed in that few seconds, right, when he lifts the gun.
Yeah.
That
And also
was, like,
because
intense, man.
the first thing you see is the bloody thing, and you're like wondering, what is this? And then as you get closer, you're like, oh shit.
They're all
So
people.
seeing that again, because of the script writing in the game, that slow transition, you see that downfall in his mental state of like, I'm on my own. Like there's no other way for me to go but this.
And there's no point going forward.
You mentioned earlier in the episode where you have unlocked a new character, right? Which is Seal.
Whatever
No,
the name.
yeah. At the arena.
No. I haven't unlocked a new character yet. I just have
So
the
Lunella.
two women, him and the woman. The one.
Lunella?
Lunella.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never played as her though.
Good luck.
I don't play as Lune as well. It's fine.
I play as
You play as Lune?
Lune, because I die so much. She's my main healer.
Okay. Yeah, she has a lot of healing.
All I
ability.
can say is keep going deeper into the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, keep going deeper.
Yeah.
And
When I have time, because
good luck.
you know, like
And you'll find there's one character who just so happens to find him or herself as the main DPS in most people's playthrough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay, I'll continue playing at some
Good
point.
luck. But going back to the
Soundtrack.
music itself,
Yeah.
Yes.
the soundtrack. Do you guys know how the game creator actually found the composer?
SoundCloud.
Found him on SoundCloud.
Serious.
Yeah.
Nice.
He was
He
putting
made
out a lot of
154
posts.
tracks
Yeah,
all on his own.
It's crazy. And the soundtrack for Expedition 33 took about 5 to 6 years for them to compose everything.
Yeah,
'Cause
154
it's-
tracks, bro.
I mean, it sounds classical as hell. Like
Yeah,
it's
man.
so
It's everything.
detailed. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all genres all at once.
Yes.
It's really everything, because in the combat itself, right, it's so engaging that,
Yeah.
that you're so energized and be like, I'm gonna kick some ass, man.
Yeah.
But at the set points, right,
Yeah.
at the lowest points of the stories, and you're just like, damn, this hits different, man.
The most annoying soundtrack is the mime.
Oh my, I hate the mic. I hate
I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna see.
It's quite early on. Maybe.
Which was the mime soundtrack?
No, it's have
So
you
the-
fought the mime before?
No.
Yeah, the first mime you fight is actually very, very early on. It's even before you find.
It's when Sophie was still alive.
Yeah,
When did I?
it's on Lumiere.
Yeah.
Oh, shit,
Like I said,
okay.
the game
Yeah.
rewards exploration. And
Oh.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
yeah.
explore every nook and cranny.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just going from point
Yeah.
A to point B.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go from point A to point B, but then eventually you'll meet like this chokehold where your level is not high enough.
Yeah.
Then you have to go explore and grind for like
Yeah.
smaller stuff.
Fun.
Yeah. But I just wanna put it out there first. I feel the soundtrack for Clair Obscur will definitely win at least 1, if not 3
Yeah.
awards.
Yeah, it's
this
good,
year.
No, like this game really is going to sweep the BAFTAs, the Game Awards. Like, I think it's undeniable at this point how fantastic this game is.
Yeah.
Like, it's 9 out of 10s on almost every
Yep.
site that I've seen. Everyone doesn't have a lot of bad things to say, only positives.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be Game of the Year for sure,
That's
unless
my game of the year.
Schedule 1 comes up with a massive update that you know, higher graphics. The weed looks real now. Like maybe then it might be Game of the Year.
But
So real, you can feel it.
after the break, we're just gonna go into a bit more spoiler-filled territories and the vibe check of what we personally feel about it. So be right back. Right, man, we're back, and this is basically a bit of spoiler-filled territory. But then I wanted to go into a lot of spoiler-filled, but looking at where he is right
Yeah,
now,
I
I
wanna
feel like it
spoil
would
it
be
for Nick.
unfair for him because
I mean, major spoilers, like small spoilers, I think it's okay.
No,
lah.
no.
Yeah,
Because-
like gradient attacks and gradient counters.
Yeah lah.
the parts that I want to go into is major spoilers, and I don't want to relieve you of that experience because it's some of the experience where I don't know about Afiq, but I think I had this conversation with Afiq on Discord where you know that scene where everyone died, right?
I kind of guessed that they're
gets-
not dead.
No,
Oh, are they? Are they?
No, they're
Oh, okay.
It gets. So it starts out depressing.
Mm.
It only gets more depressing.
right, and without
Well, they're
going
French, so you know.
Without
There's no
going-
light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah.
French lah.
Without going more into the storyline, just all I can say is, if you really don't have time to play this, switch it to story mode.
Oh, I'm already playing it on story mode.
Enjoy it
Yeah.
on story mode. just go through the story, point A, point B. You don't have to explore much as well.
Yeah.
Just gameplay aside, if you're just playing for the story, I would say it's very, very rewarding.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't have to stress yourself if you are 9 to 5, 5 to 9, you really don't have time. You only have a couple of hours a night to play.
Yeah.
Story mode as easy as possible. Just enjoy and experience the story, because like Afiq says, you're not endgame yet, right?
No.
I have gotten news from other friends that the story loops back as well. I don't know if
sets
there's
up
a,
for NG Plus lah.
yeah, I don't know if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but mid game is just gonna go downhill all the way.
Yeah.
Because for me, like, I make it a standard because I've approached that point in my life that I'm like, you know what? I don't have twins, so I don't have enough time to play like
That's
a lot
standard
of
now.
games. Yeah,
That's standard
I
now.
don't have twins, so I don't have a lot of time. So I usually immediately set these games on like
Story mode.
easy level
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
mode, because at the end of the day, I like the stories.
Yeah, and
of
you're
games.
old.
Yeah, I know. And like
Yeah.
I said, it's less that and more that I don't have twins. So, running a company is much harder than having twins. So
Yes.
that's why it's very, very busy
Fair
these
enough,
days.
fair enough.
Like I've lack of sleep.
You see.
I don't eat as much.
Exactly.
You would think having twins.
But setting up to the closing of this episode, the big question here is who would love this game? And I would say
Actually, one last thing
Oh, yeah,
before
yeah,
we get
yeah,
into that, can we just get into a little bit of the cons of it? Because
Oh,
sure,
okay.
we
Oh,
have,
yeah,
we
yeah.
are
oh yeah,
saying
sure.
there's massive
Yeah.
positives, but there are a few like minuscule negatives. And for me, I think it would come down to, yes, it looks polished,
Yeah.
but I feel not polished enough.
Definitely.
Right.
Compared to like say Final Fantasy or whatnot.
For me, it's the camera and the movement
Yeah.
is a bit janky.
Yes.
But over time, once you're used to it, it's just seamless.
for
I didn't
me,
experience that.
Oh.
Yeah,
for me,
wasn't
it was
janky for
more
me.
the interaction with the environment.
Yes.
Like, I don't have to look far. The first Assassin's Creed game, I could walk through a crowd.
Yeah.
I can't in this.
Yes.
It's just like I go to a person, it's like there's
and it's like
the
block.
invisible wall.
Yep.
Yes.
So I thought like, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a game developer, but I thought that would be something that's easily to be done in this day and age,
Yeah.
with so many games able to do that. Even freaking Schedule 1, you can push people aside. So why not this?
Yeah.
And also, like you said, the jankiness of the movement sometimes. The modifications of a character also, I wish I had more control over.
Yes.
Like that first time, before they go for the expedition, you have to get those 3 tokens and
Yes.
go each
Oh,
one,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I thought, okay, the middle one is like the wardrobe and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I get to choose.
No, you
The
only
fuck, they
get one
changed my
haircut.
haircut. I didn't ask for this. I don't
Yeah.
want this haircut.
Only one haircut.
Yeah, only
Gives me
one
this
haircut.
weird ass shit, man bun. You
Yeah.
looked good before that.
One I want to add is also the brightness of the game. At some parts of it, you will be in a cave or a dark place. When I went into combat, there was one scene at the midpoint of the game. Basically, one of the bosses before the bosses, you're in a cave. The fight scene or the playing field for that fight scene was so dark that I couldn't see the attacks coming. Yeah, so
I think about Landmaster.
yeah,
Okay, yeah,
somewhere that before the light
Yeah. I know
master
what you're
there.
talking about, yeah.
And then I'm in a cave now, and the cave is so dark that I literally am going into the cave blind.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't know where I'm going, and it's a maze, and it's very, very confusing. I'm very annoyed with that as well.
I'll tell you a con, right? That I experience.
Okay.
But it's not so much the game, it's more me. I get scared easily.
Yeah,
Very easy. I don't play horror games.
Okay.
Even like Elden Ring scared the shit out of me.
Okay.
I needed to play Elden Ring while streaming for someone else to watch. So when I'm in a cave like that, right? You can switch between characters, right? So sometimes you would switch to one character and then you would jump a ledge. But the other characters that follow you don't jump a ledge. They just appear right next to you. Every single time they appear right next to me, there's no sound cue, right? Every time they appear right next to me,
They just
yeah, it
teleport.
fucking scares the shit out of me, man. I keep
think
thinking,
it's-
I think that's a you problem. Right?
yeah,
That's a
that's
you
what I'm saying.
problem,
It's not the game. It's
That
me.
is a
yeah.
very much a you problem. Because
that's
I don't. I'm like, oh, hi, you're here.
I'm like, fuck, can you not do that? Beri salam lah.
A very stupid gripe that I have.
Yeah.
It's like, which fucking genius thought it was a good idea to put run on R2?
But I thought I'm okay with
so,
that.
Yeah,
though.
I'm
I find it
completely
annoying.
fine with
Like
that.
I'm so
You probably like
used
A.
to L3. I'm so
Or
used to L3.
Oh,
Like
L3.
you run
Yeah.
L3.
I don't know. I've become used to both because
Yeah,
as a
same.
person that played FIFA a lot when I was
Yeah,
a kid,
same.
FIFA is always
Yeah,
R2.
you don't play FIFA. You don't play
I don't
FIFA.
play FIFA.
Then now day and age, like especially for third person, like L3 is
Yeah.
the run. So I think I've now in tune. Like it's either going to be L3
Yeah.
or R2. It's
It's-
either or.
Then
I got
maybe
used to
it's
it
a me
so
problem.
much, right?
Yeah.
That because every other game, technically, every other game that I played, the sprint is not R2.
Oh, okay.
And every other game I play, R2 is attack.
Mm.
Right? So yesterday I played Cyberpunk again because there's some new shit there, and then I wanted to sprint.
And you R2.
I R2
And then you shot.
and I shot. And I was like, oh, sorry, wrong button.
My bad.
But I realized it's because I spent so much time in Expedition 33 that the muscle memory kind of it overwrites. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
those are just some of my personal smaller gripes. lah.
I got one last one. I would like a map. Is there a map later on? Or tak
No.
ada?
No.
No, there's no map, there's no journal for you to take, for you to
I thought
track
the
your
journal-
quests.
No, the only journal is you press Y and they give you like the objective,
Ah.
Yeah, but
like
that's
a
it lah.
vague objective of what you're supposed to
Yeah.
do.
But then when you go in to level out, isn't there like the journal and then something in the top left-hand
no.
corner?
No.
Oh,
That journal is just the expedition.
oh, the notes, is
the
it?
notes
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Summary
it-
lah, the summary
yeah.
for it lah.
So someone was saying, someone on YouTube I was watching, I don't remember the name, but they were saying how a tip is to have a notebook close to
Yeah.
you when you're playing this game so you can write down.
Because also sometimes after I fight a boss,
Yeah.
I lose track. Was I going straight or was I
Yes.
going this way? Like,
Oh,
which,
yeah.
But I think
Which
that's
way
by
was it
design.
going? Huh?
I feel like it's by design. I
I
feel,
feel
like
it's
they
by-
want you to get lost in the world and the
I
game.
guess so
Because
lah.
every other RPG game, right? You get like a journal of all the quests that you
Yeah.
haven't done, quests
Yeah.
that you've completed, and it does take away from the immersion a little bit, right? Because you have this helping hand telling you where to
Ah.
go.
Yeah.
But this time it's like if you don't remember, then it's
Ah,
like in real life lah.
Yeah.
Like when you go to the kitchen and then suddenly you forgot why you went to the kitchen.
Yeah, I guess so lah.
That was me
That's the
yesterday.
same as-
That was me
What am I
yesterday.
doing here?
Yeah, that was me yesterday. Yeah, but I feel like yes, a map would be helpful, but then it really takes away the immersion of the game.
Yeah,
Because
I guess
I
so lah.
agree with Afiq. I feel like the whole idea of it is for you to get immersed and lost in the game.
Okay.
Oh wait, that means you haven't gotten to the overworld.
No, I'm guessing
No,
not
no,
so
no.
yet.
That's the only time you get a map.
Oh, okay,
That's
yeah.
So you do get kind of
Maps,
like a map.
some sort of-
Yeah, a concept of a map.
Yeah, but like I said, those are the ones that really. It's really nitpicking at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
It's not going to make the game a worse experience for you.
Yeah.
It's just tiny things that maybe in future updates they might fix it or whatnot.
Yeah.
Especially, I feel like if you could move through. I know it's something so small, but if you can move through the crowd, it like adds that other depth of realism to
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like when you
QOLs
play Red
of
Dead
the game,
Redemption as
yeah.
well. Like just interacting with the people makes it more real.
Yeah. But going back to just closing this up, who would love this game? I would say
Elden Ring players, I think.
all three of us who don't come from an RPG background
Yeah.
or don't have a muse for RPG games,
Yeah.
we are converts already.
Yeah.
For this game specifically.
For this game specifically.
For this game specifically.
But I think to be more specific, like turn-based, because I play a lot of RPG games.
Uh,
I was drawn to
I
it.
would say JRPG style.
Yeah,
turn-based
JRPG.
games.
JRPG to be more specific.
JRPG
Yeah.
style turn-based game. I would say for the sake of the story, for the sake of the development history, for the sake of a groundbreaking game, in my opinion, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33 on the I was about to say the Kepler scale.
Oh,
on
the
the
meter.
on the
Epic
scale of epicness.
Yes.
I give this a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, you need to try it.
I give this
Once
a 5
in your
out of
life.
5.
I give it 4.
Even if you feel like you might not enjoy it,
Yeah.
just pay $20 on Game Pass
Like I said, I think
and
we
play.
are testaments to that.
Yeah.
As people that don't usually play this game,
Yeah.
how much we are really enjoying this game.
Yeah.
That should be the evidence to be like, oh shit, maybe I should play this as well. It might not be something that at first glance I look like I'm into.
Yep.
But after a while, the story sucks you in, the gameplay sucks you in, the beauty of it sucks you in. There's
Yeah.
so many willing elements to this that will keep you going probably all the way until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game feels like an anomaly. It's like the one different game
Yes.
that I play among
it
every
shouldn't
other
work.
games that I play. Like
But
it,
it does.
it shouldn't work. The concept of it, I should not enjoy
Yeah.
No, the
based
concept
on
of
my
it,
preferences.
the concept of it, not only that, it just feels like any other game.
Yeah,
right? It just
to
feels
some
like
extent,
any
yeah.
other game, right? But then once you play it, right, I feel like when you're downloading the game,
Yeah.
you're also accepting that you're gonna sasau.
Mm.
Right?
Kena pukau.
Yeah, you're gonna poke out and be like, okay, because you download this game, you will spiritually be engaged and accepting
Because I
of this
paid
game.
this money.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, but
Even if it's 20
overall,
ringgit.
I would say this is definitely
Overall,
5
yeah.
out of 5.
4.9
same.
out of 5.
Hands
Same.
down, hands
Same.
down. If you don't understand why not only like one or two people are talking about it, but basically the whole world online is
Yeah.
talking about it and giving it high praise,
Yeah.
then you might be the
You need to,
problem.
You need to
Yeah,
try.
yeah.
Yeah, you might be the
Just
problem there.
Download it. If you can't pay like what now is like 140 something, 150 something,
169
ringgit.
ringgit.
Yeah.
Get Game Pass.
Yeah.
Enjoy
Yeah,
it for a
20 ringgit.
month.
Yeah.
If you're on PC lah.
Yeah, lah,
Yeah.
If
PC
you're on
lah,
PlayStation 5 or
Then
Xbox,
GG
then,
you have to-
Yeah.
different question lah.
then GG.
Yeah.
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 Unless it's on the cloud streaming, the PS cloud streaming
Yeah,
beta.
man.
Which
but
I heard
probably
is a
not.
pile of shit anyway, so.
Yeah.
But at least I
And-
don't have to pay extra money for it.
And that's all the time we have for you guys. We talked about Clair Obscur, what we love, what we didn't like, and the minor gripes, the minor,
Minor.
Really
little gripes
Yeah.
that we have of this
The
game.
only reason we said it is so that this whole episode is balanced.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, it'd just be like, it's great, nothing wrong.
As usual, I've been your video game best friend, Kelvin Tay.
I'm Afiq K.
I'm Nick Dorian.
And until then, we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.